Yo, we are back again. Part two of Don't Kill Me. Like, hold on now. Slow up, slow down. Don't kill me. But this might be a pretty hot take. So I'm off the hot seat this time. Your turn, man. So I'm off the hot seat. They probably done burnt me up already, man. Trying to see what I gotta say about the number one pick. But now we're on to you, man. So what you gotta say to the people, man?
Oof. Well, they burning you up, man. They get ready to hate me, cause oof. So here we go, y'all. Don't kill me, but Kobe Bryant is not in the GOAT debate. And I know before y'all click off the video, just hold on, just wait. just let me finish what I got to say. Let me hear me out. Hear me out.
Oh, you know I'm
Kobe,
listening.
yeah, I know you listening because I know Kobe your boy. But man, listen. All due respect to the Mamba, and may you rest in peace. Nothing but love for my guy. I want to throw that out there first.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of hate saying these things since he didn't pass because guys get very emotional, and that's understandable. But Kobe is not in the GOAT debate. And when I say the GOAT debate, I mean the debate of who is the best player of all time. So I'm gonna start out with this. Who are the guys we always throw out there in the GOAT debate? MJ, LeBron, and then guys throw in Kobe, and guys throw in Kareem here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the guys usually thrown into the GOAT debate. So I'm here to tell y'all, Kobe does not belong in that list of names. And so my number one reason for this is we would never, ever, ever in any other sport consider a player to be the best in that sport with one award for being the most valuable player in that sport in his entire career, his or her entire career. And I know what you're thinking. Kobe supposed to have this many MVPs. Steve Nash got Kobe MVP at the house right now. I understand that. But we can't go off what should have happened. All we got is what we know. And I've said this multiple times. We got to go on what happened and not what we thought should have happened. These are the facts. Kobe Bryant got one MVP. And so let's go down the list. So there's a select 13, maybe 14 guys that it don't matter who you ask, they probably going to put them in their whole top 10 of best players ever. So, everybody top 10 be a little different here and there, a couple names different, but there's about 14 guys that everybody usually throw in. So I'm going to go down the list of guys with the most MVPs. So first is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with 6, got the most MVPs in NBA history. Right behind him, Michael Jordan and Bill Russell both got 5. Right behind them, LeBron James got 4, Wilt Chamberlain got 4, Larry Bird has 3, Magic Johnson has 3, Moses Malone has 3. Nikola Jokic just got his 2nd. Giannis Antetokounmpo has 2. Stephen Curry has 2. Tim Duncan has 2. Steve Nash has 2. Karl Malone has 2. So, in all the names I just named, there was no Kobe Bryant. Now, I could go down the huge list of guys that got 1. The guys with 1 MVP is long.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like I said, guys, finna throw out the Steve Nash not supposed to have that, this and this, whatever. Y'all can say what you want, but this is the facts. So then reason number 2, Kobe don't belong in the GOAT debate. For the majority of Kobe Bryant's year, I ain't gonna say the majority. I ain't even gonna say the majority. For almost half of Kobe Bryant's career, he played 20 years in the league. For almost half of his career, he was not the best player on his team. And that's just being real. So Kobe's first 2 years in the league, I want to say, he didn't start. And then he began starting. And, Shaq and Kobe was Shaq and Kobe, of course, dominant. That first championship they got, though, Kobe was a sidekick. Let's be real. Like, Shaq was dominant, and Kobe was, a good second player. Not even all-star level Kobe. But the next 2 rings after that, Kobe was Kobe. I give him that. Kobe was Kobe. But Shaq was still number 1. Hence why he got all 3 finals MVPs. So now I have to tell you this. What player in any sport would we consider to be the best of that sports, like ever to play that sport, if his team, if he wasn't the best player on his team for every ring that he won? Who would we say that for? Mike 6-6 in the finals, won all 6 finals MVPs. LeBron 4 championships, got all 4 finals MVPs. Stephen Curry, with everything he didn't accomplish, nobody would consider this man to be in the top 10 until he won a championship and was finals MVP. People was not even thinking about it. Like, how he gonna be top 10? He can't even be the best player in the finals. That's what we said about Steph. Now, keep in mind, now Kobe did do that. I'm not gonna discredit that. He later on in his career, he got those 2 rings, and he was the best player by far, easily the best player. And he deserved it. But that's how important being the best player on your team is. As much as Steph Curry didn't accomplish, best shooter all time, broke all kind of 3-point records, 3 rings, 2 MVPs, 1 unanimous MVP, the first and only to ever do it. We would not look at this man to be in the top 10 without winning a finals MVP. And this guy's in there that ain't did what he done. But now that he got that and got that 4th ring and he won finals MVP, we just inserted him into that conversation of being top 10. Now he's sitting at the table. Kobe, like, when it comes to that GOAT table, it ain't in my mind, ain't nobody sitting down but LeBron, Mike, and Kareem. That's me though. So that's my reasoning. Those are my main points of why Kobe's not sitting at that table, y'all. And I know I know how people get about Kobe. Kobe's like a touchy subject now. And even before he passed, people still got emotional about Kobe. So it's even worse now. But the facts is the facts, guys. Like, I cannot give him that credit just because of how y'all feel. You know, I got to look at the facts. I got to look at the logic at hand. So I hope y'all don't hate me. Please don't click off the video. But that's my take, man. I don't think Kobe Bryant belongs in the GOAT debate at all. So with all that being said, man, I'm ready to hear what you got to say. So lay it on me.
I wish I had a Kobe hat, a Kobe shirt, jersey. I got a jersey, but it's too small. But I got 2 jerseys, but both of them too small. I wish I got a book, but I ain't trying to pull that out right now. It's right there, in case y'all, So the reason that Kobe, the resume behind Kobe being in the GOAT conversation is not necessarily about nostalgia and feelings. His level of dominance is dang near unmatched. It's the table he's in as far as dominance, as far as like not physical dominance, because Shaq and Wilt, like, they got that. That's the separate table. As far as this is a feeling thing, it's kind of Philly, but like it's a fairly well known stated thing that don't nobody put fear in your heart like Kobe Bryant. Only person in that conversation at that table, so we're talking about tables, is Jordan. Okay. Go down the list of top shooting guards. Number 2 is Bean. Okay. The list of number 1 scoring, list of all-time scoring in one game. The gentleman you named before with 2 MVPs and Wilt, number 2 on that list is Bean. From, I can't remember the years, but he had a couple years where he was a cold-blooded assassin, averaging 40 for like 2 months, 3 months. It was a nasty little tear where, like, him having 30 was an off night. This ain't feelings. These are stats. I'm giving you stats here. This man 30 was like, oof, sheesh. I call a light one tonight, man. Whoever got him tomorrow, y'all. Hey, hey, I send my prayers for you, brother, because you finna get 50 on your head, brother. Like, this man said, hey, you want to play? Ain't going to get you 70? No, I'm good. I'll get it next time. He proceeded to drop 81. These are numbers here, bro. Like, I get the MVP thing. I'm not trying to sit here and be like, I'm with you. We got to deal with what we have. We can't go back and rewind. Like, yeah, we was wrong, man. Nash, let me get the MVP up off you. Here you go. We messed up. Hey, who else won the MVP during that time? LeBron, we got to take one of them back, brother. We should have gave that to him. I'm sorry, man. Like, we messed up. Like, no, anybody can do that. Forget that. He has one MVP. Cool. Let's deal with the facts of what we have. The stats, the resume that we have is black and white. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. The gray area of what Kobe of his career is what people try to throw in there, the feeling of what that is. So the second all-time leading scorer in a game. The scoring tear he put on people, nobody had that. Nobody. I don't think Jordan had a tear like that. Only person probably comparison is Wilt and Jordan. I had another point, but I forgot it right now. Hopefully they'll come back to me. But the stats of like the ranking, and when we talk about the position wise, he's number 2. The only person that's number 3, and I think about this earlier today, the only person in the conversation of like being at the conversation is D Wade. But D Wade, and that's both of them my guy. But D Wade's number 3. Only person close to knock on that door being close to him is AI, if we put him as a 2 guard.
Mm-hmm.
So Kobe being the second best shooting guard in the history of the game. So you start going down the list of like the best 5-point guard, shooting guard, small forwards, whatever. So that's 25 people right there, right? So you go on point guards, the top 3, let's just say, is Magic, Curry, Isaiah Thomas, just throwing people out there. You're throwing Kobe, Jordan, Wade. Let's say you're going LeBron, Bird, and KD for small forwards. Let's say you go Tim Duncan, KG, and Karl Malone, since he got the most MVPs part of that group. Let's go Shaq, Kareem, and Wilt, Bill. Really don't matter. So out of them, just the top 3 guys that I've named, we're taking Kobe over a handful of them guys. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12. That's 15 people. He's in the top 15 guaranteed. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Just
I ain't saying he ain't in no list, but
I'm winning it down. So that's top 15 right there. All right. So that's just top 15 off the top. I ain't even writing no real list now. This is off the top of the head. So top 15. Guarantee if you start talking about player for player, who you taking, you start trickling down. Like, I'll take Kobe over him. I'll take Kobe over him. I'll take Kobe over him. Okay. When we talk about another GOAT discussion of the best player, I ain't talking about like resume, the greatest, all this other stuff. It's another conversation we need to have one day. But we're talking about actual player, like 2K stats type of stuff. Like, we making a player. Only 3 people probably in that conversation as far as like skill wise, like what you can do on the court. Him, Kyrie, and Jordan probably up there. KD might be in that conversation too, but he like a cheat code. He don't count. You 7 foot, bro. So you don't count. So skill wise, Kobe is arguably the most skilled player in the history of the game. That right there is part of what his resume is of why he's the GOAT. That right there is why he's in the GOAT conversation. The overall numbers of stuff, his scoring that he output that he had, that's what's up there for him. But the fact that he's the most skilled player to touch the court, at least in the conversation, he's talking about another table to sit at, he's probably ahead of that table to sit at. So all that stuff combined is why Kobe is in that conversation. You can't leave him out the conversation. Now, is he actually the GOAT? That's a whole different conversation. But sit at the table, he's in talks of that. That's what I feel about that. So if Jordan in that conversation, how can you take a more skilled version of this player and not have him in the conversation? Including the most skilled player, including the second all-time leading scorer in the game, including the fact that he is arguably the second best at his position, including the fact that he puts fear in everybody's heart, including former players like today nobody puts fear in your heart like Kobe Bryant. Like Kobe Bryant, ooh, shivers down my spine. Like, nobody want to guard Kobe, man. Like, so that's where, for me, Kobe, black and white, is in the conversation of being the GOAT.
Okay. That's all very valid. Like, the things he did and, the top 15 guys you named. So this is what I would say to that. All positions are not created equal.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean when I say that is, you was like top 3 point guards, you name guys, top 3 shooting guards, top 3 small forwards, whatever. And those were all valid. But this is my thing. Like I said, there's about 14 guys that just about everybody gonna have in their top 10 or close to it. So let's go down the list of guys normally thrown in the top 10. Kareem, Mike, Bill Russell, LeBron, Wilt, Bird, Magic, Tim Duncan, Karl Malone, Shaq, Hakeem. That's 11. Big O. We can go Kobe. I didn't say Kobe. We go Kobe. And then that's 13. So it's about, let's go with them guys right there.
Mm-hmm.
So out of 13 guys I named, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many shooting guards did I name? Mike and Kobe.
Yep.
No D Wade. So that means you said top 3 shooting guards. So that man went Mike, Kobe, D Wade.
Mm-hmm.
Levels. So this is what I'm saying. Mike and Kobe are considered to be that much greater than Dwayne Wade, to the fact that Mike and Kobe are in the discussion of top 10 players all time. Mike in that GOAT debate, and I said Kobe isn't, but you say he is. And then D Wade ain't even in the conversation of top 10. Mm-hmm. So I say that to say Bron, Mike, Kareem are in that conversation of GOAT debate. Mm-hmm. And then right there under them is a gap. So Steven Jackson said it best, but it's kind of messed up because he put Kobe in the GOAT debate, but I got to steal his analogy anyway. Steven Jackson said it best. He said, they all on GOAT Island and ain't none of us invited. So Mike, Bron, Kareem, GOAT Island. And I just feel like Kobe ain't out there, and there's no, I don't want to say that to sound like a hater or to offend anybody. Because, I ain't never been a Kobe fan, but that's not why I'm saying it. Mm-hmm. I'm saying is those 3 guys, they might not be head and shoulders above everybody else. But let me put it to you like this. If they was in the pool, they standing up. Everybody else kicking. Like, hey, I'm in here too. I'm in the pool. I'm in the water. You know what I'm saying? Kareem and Bron, they like, yeah, man, it's a cool party. Everybody else like, yeah, man, I'm having a good time. They there, but they ain't the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's just kind of how I feel about Kobe. Is Kobe top 10? That's another discussion, but I would probably throw him in my top 10. I ain't sat down and wrote it, like you said, but I would throw him in my top 10 most likely. I just had to sit down and think about where he would actually be. But when guys out here talking about, oh, my top 10 is Mike, Bron, Kobe, Kareem. That's too high. My top 10 is Mike, Kobe, LeBron. I can't. He's not in that discussion. Now, if you want to throw Kobe fourth, that's debatable. But I feel like Mike, Bron, Kareem on GOAT Island. And these other guys just in the pool. They in the water. They having a good time. But they ain't on GOAT Island, And that's just kind of where I stand on it. Like I said, man, Kobe still fourth in scoring all time, all that good stuff. But I can put it to you like this too. Kobe played 20 years. I will accept that, in his later years he was hurting all that, and he was getting older, kind of doing what he could, doing the best he could. But Kobe played 20 years, and he just in front of Mike in scoring. Played way more games, took way more shot attempts, all that. But he just passed Mike in scoring. Bron already passed both of them. Kareem number 1. And then and Kobe's number 1 thing is scoring. He's a killer. Like you said, he's a killer now. Had some tears. Don't nobody want to guard Kobe. Oh, we all know about Kobe. We all know about the Mamba. But when it boils down to it, now that his career is over with, we can look back at it with 20/20 vision. It's like he outscored Mike, but he did it in 200 more games, 800 more minutes, took 700 more shots, the points is the points, but it's just he just passed Mike. Mike 5th, he 4th. Bron done passed both of them already. Kareem number 1. And then Kareem got the most MVPs ever. Mike got the second most. Bron got 1 less than Mike. Kobe got 5 rings, 2 finals MVPs. Bron got 4 rings with all 4 of the MVPs. Mike got 6 with all 6 of them. Kareem got 6 rings. He got 4 finals MVPs. I'm just I just can't throw him in that conversation with them guys. That's all I'm saying. Them 3 is it for me. They are standing above the rest. And there's a gap between them and everybody else. So That's all I can really say on it, man. Like, all due respect to the Mamba. I promise y'all, all due respect to Mamba. But that's just where I land on it. He don't belong in that conversation. Top 10, bet. You got it. Wherever he landed your top 10, cool. You can even throw him top 5. Like, that's cool. But them 3 gotta be top 3 in my mind. They are on Goat Island. And that's all I got to say on that. That's all I can say.
Okay.
So
kind of going back to your other point of, like you said, he just passed Jordan in scoring. Okay. Valid. It's facts. Okay. He's barely there. But now let's zoom out a little bit. Going back to your earlier point of why Kobe, you probably say you couldn't throw Kobe up there. Starting off his career, he wasn't the guy. LeBron was handing the car keys from the jump. Jordan had the car keys from the jump. Kareem had it because they was all top 3 picks. Jordan was number 2. Bron Kareem was 1. So Kobe had to scratch, fight, and claw his way to the top. He was the 13th pick?
Yeah.
Guarantee you pretty much everybody else in that conversation was a very higher pick than him. So you start talking about Magic, number 1. Bird, I think he was top 3 or 5. Wilt, he's up there. Big O, he's up there. Tim Duncan, number 1. Like, pretty much every other guy out there is Shaq, number 1. So it's like you start whittling down like, oh, all these guys been handing the car keys from the jump. Kobe had to scratch from the bottom to get his. Now, after the top 10, 15, 13, whatever, Kobe might be the lowest pick of that bunch. It's just, once again, I ain't sit down and like do this because you just threw this at me right here. But Kobe might be the lowest pick out that bunch. Now, I'm not going to get emotional and be like, oh, since because of that, he should. No, bro, I'm not saying that. But to think of, like, statistically thinking about how this goes, the 13th pick is not going to get more minutes than the number 1 pick. That's just not what's going to happen. So the first 3 or 4 years, he had to earn the car keys. He had to beat Shaq out to earn those car keys. Right? So you said Karl Malone's number 3 now, right? Nobody cares. No, I'm saying nobody cares. But nobody's talking about Karl Malone as being a GOAT, and he's number 3. Like, it's cool. Whatever. People forget, oh, Karl Malone was number 2? I thought it'd be like Jordan or somebody. Nope, it's Karl Malone. He was number 2 for the longest.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's cute. But we know Kareem, we know Jordan up there, and we know Kobe's up there because after he got up there. Karl Malone. Who was Karl Malone? Like, I don't know him. Like,
you got to play with John Stockton.
Like, yeah, they all right. Did they win? No. Oh, okay. He got rings? He won MVP? Oh, dang. I thought Jordan won all them. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, so it's like Karl Malone's kind of like in the background of that conversation. We talk about that whole thing. But Kobe's dominance is part of what has him up there. Like, I'm trying to stay away from the gray area of, like, feeling of it. But, like, you can't, it's like a gray area that you can't just leave out of dominance. Like, the impact of his dominance was, like, the sheer fear that he put in defenders. Like, since he retired, the closest thing of fear might have been Steph Curry. Just like people scared, like, you got to go into tonight. All right, what time is it? It's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Got to go to bed because I'm not going to be sitting here playing around going against this guy. Like, I ain't got time for that tonight, brother. You're finna be da-da-da. Not me. No, sir. Breaking news. Kobe Bryant dropped 60 on the Dallas Mavericks last night because Sean Marion went out partying last night. Nobody want to hear that, man. Like, so it's like Kobe put fear into people that made his defenders even better. Okay, so every night he going against double teams, triple teams with the sorriest teams the Lakers probably threw out in years. Like, you start looking after the Magic years, it was like decent teams. You know, you had Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel, a couple decent teams, playoff teams here and there, traded for Shaq, rebuild a little bit. After Shaq left, terrible. We all knew it. It was like, they ain't win no championships. Sorry, brother. We gonna figure something else out. So Kobe playing with the trash he played with. If you compare roster for rosters, Kobe probably had the worst rosters out of those 4 people. Out of Kareem, LeBron.
Worst roster than Bron? Bron? Mike his first few years from Pippen came along?
The first few years was different. We ain't talking about the first few years. We talking about, like, as far as them being the guy.
Bruh, They all had their trials and tribulations, though. You know?
So we're talking about peak guys. So we're talking about once Jordan became Jordan, once LeBron came LeBron. Well, LeBron different because he came out the womb being LeBron, so his whole career is him being.
He's
So
just
the
a
only
different
one,
breed.
yeah, he different. So, Kareem. I only think I'm too young for this, but I can't name a bad team Kareem had. I can't. I'm not even being by. I legit cannot name a bad team. Not because I'm trying to like boost up his team. I don't know the rosters of his team. Like I know the Magic.
That's true.
The Lakers team he had was good. Before the Bucks team, I literally have no clues on the roster besides Magic. Big O. So I can't put him in this discussion. That's just me being like young. Blame it on that. So between the other two though, LeBron probably had a worse roster when he became the guy. Now first, until he got to the Heat, he didn't have a team worth talking about. Let's just say that. Like every Cavs team was just like, no. Them,
Mo Williams? All right.
Larry Hughes. Okay.
Anderson Varejao? Cool.
Old Shaq. Yeah, nah.
Old
ain't
Shaq.
It, man.
It was like Shaq. Old Shaq. You said he had Shaq? Oh, he was old? Never mind.
He had Shaq. Oh, that's a pretty good team. Now it's old Shaq. Never mind. You got it. So yeah, man. Ooh. So it's like when you start whittling down the rosters, it's like Smush Parker. Ooh. Let's Smush. I'm sorry, man. Kwame Brown. Man. On Brian Cook. I probably lost people who that is. They don't probably know who that is, bro. This is like
no, Kobe had some years. Now I give you that. When Steve Blake was the point guard and Jordan Hill was the center.
Come on, I remember. So he had years where prime Kobe was wasted and thrown to the wayside, where we cannot fully appreciate and respect what he did. Once again, going back to another the last one we had, DeMarcus Cousins years were wasted because he didn't have a good team around him. This man putting up 28 and 12 night in, night out in his sleep. Kobe putting up 30 in his sleep. But nobody cared because the Lakers barely getting by in the playoffs. Like, come on, bro. Like, so that's why Steve Nash got the MVP over him, because Nash had the top seed one year and like the top 3 seed the next year or something like that. Kobe, you 8 seed, 7 seed, bro. Like, we're not giving you no MVP for that. Westbrook the last person to win that low. So, of course, you're not going to win it. I'm not trying to debate that at all. But when we talk about Kobe being Bryant, for me personally, it depends on the flavor of the day of what I feel like for like what the GOAT debate is. If I want to go greatest player, as far as the resume, I could go Jordan, I could go Kareem. Just depending on how I feel. When I go on Mr. Do Everything, as far as like the totality of what I can fit on my basketball team, I might go LeBron. I might go Jordan. When I go as far as the best skilled player to play the game, I might go Kobe that day. So that's why I feel like he's in that conversation, because that right there is what separates him from the next guy. So it's like them top 3, Kobe's probably ahead of that next class. And you talk about greatest Lakers of all time, it's really only 2 people that most people have in the conversation. That's Magic and Kobe. And then so it's like you start when you get nitpicking when you start talking about the top 5, okay, top 4, top 3. So that's why I can understand where you're coming through with that. But I still see it as like the best player. I'm talking about 2K type player. When you're talking about stats of like rankings and his shooting, dribbling, post, this, that, the skill level of what this player has. Nobody's in that conversation. Plus the dominance, plus this, and plus that. Now, skill-wise, Kyrie's in that conversation. This player's in that conversation. But not just the skill, but everything else included into it is what put Kobe in that conversation. So I agree he might not be top 3 in 90% of books. I get that. But for me, if he's not at that conversation, he's probably at the kiddie table of that GOAT table. So, Thanksgiving, you got the adult table, it's the grown folks over here, it's the kid table right over there in the corner, not too far from it. So you can go over there. Little Nelson right over there. All right, where Lil B at? He over there too. All right, cool.
Hey, so I can take that. I can take that.
That next table, he's definitely at that seat. It's probably only
True. Some of these boys eating outside.
Hey,
they ain't in the house.
They ain't even close. Like
They get their joint fresh out the grill. Eating right there.
They ain't even got the address. Like, what the house at, bro? I thought it's over here. Nah, bro. You in the conversation. James Harden go over there.
We ain't in there no more.
You gave me the wrong address, bro. Oh, my bad. I know. So it's just like Kobe's, and he might not be at the head of the table, but the worst place I feel like you can put him is at the, like, you know how the head of the table is. He might not be the head, and the next two right there is one of them two, but he's at that next seat. That's the worst place I feel like you can put Kobe. Top 5. That's, in my opinion, he's top 5. Top 3, debatable. Because once again, the flavor day of what I'm feeling, I might feel like, man, he the most skilled player all time. Can't nobody on the court do what he did. Facts. So it's like, it depends on the flavor day for what I feel like it is. Because I can go either one of them for to be like, that's the best player. So that's kind of why I feel like why Kobe's in that conversation. Worst case scenario. So we kind of agree on him possibly not being top 3. Kind of agree right there. We certainly agree with him being top 10 for sure, and top 5 is debatable. So that's a tough one, man. But man, I still feel like I'm right on that one, man.
Hey, I understand, man. I can take what you said with, like, you know, the top 3 is debatable, top 5 is debatable, but we both agree he top 10. I can live with that. That's valid. But y'all, I hope y'all don't hate me. I hope y'all don't hate me, because I know how people get about Kobe.
I thought my take was kind of high. Oof.
No, I was finna jump out of the deep end.
I don't know, man. I feel pretty cool over here now.
That took some of the heat off you for sure. For sure with this one. But hey, man, like I said, y'all, don't kill me, man. I hope y'all took what I said and, you know, listen to it with, you know, being unbiased and whatnot. But y'all this is where y'all do y'all part at right here. So now that I gave my piece and gave my hot take, and B gave his response. Oh, that's fair. But this is where y'all come in at. So y'all hop in the comments. Let us know what y'all think. Let us know who you think is right. Do you believe what I believe? Do you think Kobe not really sitting at the GOAT debate table, or do you side with B? It's like, hey, he the most skilled all time. He did this. He did that. He need to be in a discussion. So y'all let us know what y'all think, man. We appreciate you for listening anyway. I'm glad if you made it this far, thank you for not clicking out the video. Because I guarantee you, somebody clicked out when I said Kobe Bryant ain't in the GOAT debate. Somebody was like, next. I know how people live, man. Yep. So we appreciate y'all for listening, man. But anyway, that's it for us here, man, with another segment of Don't Kill Me. But be sure to like, subscribe, and comment and let us know what you think. Be sure to follow Brian on social medias at BeBall Jones. That's BeBall Jones on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and on TikTok. Be sure to follow me at NellyH34 on Twitter, at Nelson.Haskin on IG, and Nelson Haskin on Facebook. We like to keep the conversation going on over there. And be sure to follow the podcast on TikTok as well. The BeBall Jones podcast is on TikTok. Be sure to go check out some of the videos we got on there and like that up for us. But that does it for another episode, man. We hope y'all enjoyed this segment. And we'll check y'all next time, man. Without further ado, we out.